Tom Homan rips foolish migrant who threatened Trump. He'll be deported. All right, let's go check it out. Let's see where this takes us, guys, immediately. This is a suggestion via Discord. Let's jump into it.
Well, you've got this, Dana. ICE agents arresting an illegal immigrant accused of threatening to assassinate President Trump. Officials say he passed a note to ICE agents that said the following: "We are tired of this president messing with us Mexicans. We have done more for this country than you white people. You've been deporting my family, and I think it is time Donald J. Trump get what he has coming to him."
And so you decided to walk up to an ICE agent and hand it directly to him? Where did you think this was going to go? Like, how did you think this was going to work, guys? Like, regardless of whatever you're saying at the beginning, have your ideas, guys, right? Do your thing. But the last part is the problem, guys. I'm going to be honest here. The rest of it is all basically irrelevant, but this last part is the literal issue.
End quote. Tom Homan, Border Czar from the White House. Tom, good morning to you, and thanks.
It's irrelevant to the issue, at least.
So he's got a rap sheet. It's pretty long. He's 54 years old. He's entered the U.S. illegally at least 9 times.
Felony hit and run.
Charged with a felony hit and run, criminal damage of property, disorderly conduct with a, quote, domestic abuse modifier. All right, so he was picked up in Wisconsin. What's the status of his case, Tom?
Well, he's being detained. He'll be removed. I mean, he's exactly the priority that President Trump has ICE focusing on: public safety threats and significant criminal history. And foolish on him to make a threat against the president. It's just going to add another criminal charge. I mean, Secret Service is investigating that allegation. He'd probably end up with another charge on top of the others. And we'll detain him, and as soon as he gets out, he'll be deported. ICE has made it clear public safety threats are the priority. And bad decision on his part to make a threat against the president.
Yeah, that was wild.
Charge.
Once he's deported, does the United States try to keep tabs on somebody like this? Because he's come across 9 times over the
probably not.
Past. I don't necessarily think that he would be able to make it across the border now that it's more secure. But if somebody has made a threat to the president, do you continue to track them even after they leave the country?
ICE doesn't, but the Secret Service does, yes. And you're right, he's going to have a hard time coming back. Illegal immigration crossings on the border, on the southern border, down 96%. Every single border patrol agent is on the line now defending that border, along with DOD on the border by the thousands. So he's going to have a hell of a time coming back. But if he does, that's a felony reentry charge. We'll quickly detain him and charge him with a felony reentry after deportation. He'll serve some more prison time. He's not going to win this.
Right, yeah, he's definitely not going to win it, but is he going to try it again? Absolutely. 9 times? 9 times literally dictates, to me personally, at least, that he's going to try it for a 10th time, right? Like, once you catch him, he's just going to try to come back. And he'll literally just wait for Trump to no longer be in office. Like, that's the reality of the situation here, I would assume.
Yeah. Christy Noem put out a statement. The threat comes out even a year after President Trump was shot in Butler, PA. And less than 2 weeks after the former FBI director, James Comey, called for the president's assassination. All politicians and members of the media should take notice of these repeated attempts in President Trump's life and tone down the rhetoric. I'm sure that's on your radar. Also on your radar is the story of this cadet candidate for the Air Force, a young lady who was killed on a jet ski by apparently 2 illegals from Venezuela. And the illegals have been arrested. Both of these young ladies entered the country, I believe, within the last 2 years. As you fight that lawnmower there at the White House, Tom, what have you learned about their case and what comes of them?
Well, they're being held, and the local authorities are seeking charges against them. But again, we got detainer placed on. We're going to hold them. We'll let the local law enforcement deal with on any criminal charge they have, and we'll simply follow that case. But they will not walk the streets. If local law enforcement, for some reason, does not want to prosecute and release them, we're there to get them, and we'll hold them in detention. We'll hold them without bond and remove them. And that's, but the issue is that the deportation place removal keeps getting delayed by district court judges across the country who want to put a nationwide injunction on us for specifically removal proceedings. But I can guarantee you one thing, they won't be walking the streets. They'll be in ICE detention until we can remove them. Through Title VIII, which takes some time, hopefully through other expedited removal proceedings or administrative removal proceedings. But they will be detained and removed. They will no longer walk the streets of this country.
That's fair. That's completely fair. I think this should basically be the bare minimum here, guys.
Sir, let me ask the control room. Do we have the soundbite from her basketball coach? We do not have it. Okay. But her basketball coach, if I could just read it to you, Tom, just so that everybody knows like what kind of
If you
young
can
woman
hear
this
it.
was. They said, you know, we talked throughout the course of the year at some point in her career, she was going to be a 4-star general because she loved it. She made those around her better. They took a bright star from our lives. And she's not the first. How much more do you think American safety could be either at risk or is it better protected given the last 5 months of really dedicated activity to secure the border and to try to deport illegal immigrants who are criminals in the country?
Look, we got the most
There we
secure
go.
border in the history of this nation right now because of President Trump and his leadership. President Trump's a game changer. Like him or love him, no one's been more successful in securing the border than President Trump.
That's valid.
Unprecedented success. But right now, we're seeking the millions of illegal aliens in this country illegally, many of them public safety threats that the Biden administration released in the country without proper vetting. Look, I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of angel moms and dads, which is, you had this discussion before. Why do I take this job so seriously? Why do I get emotional and lose my temper in front of Congress or on news stations? Because I'm sick and tired of meeting angel moms and dads who buried their children because they were killed by an illegal alien that shouldn't be here. Under Biden administration, we have proven that they released public safety threats into the community, knowing they were a public safety threat. Secretary Mayorkas stood on TV how many times saying everybody's property vetted before they're released, and we found out that wasn't true. Men and women of the Border Patrol had one instruction: process quick, release quick, because there's no overcrowding here, there's nothing to see, and there's no border issue. So these people were processed so quickly, they can't possibly run their criminal history. Plus we don't have access to criminal
other
history
countries.
of people from Venezuela and El Salvador and these other countries. So Secretary Mayorkas lied to the American people, the Biden administration lied to American people, and we're trying to fix the problem. There are a lot of public safety threats in this country. 600,000, an estimate right now, 600,000 illegal aliens with criminal convictions walking the streets of this country. That's why we need this big, beautiful bill passed, so we can put the resources out there in the streets to take these people off the streets and deport them to this country just as soon as we can.
On that bill, there's a major piece of immigration in that bill that we can get into another time. But just one last question. Quick one, but it's important. It's been reported last week there was this heated discussion between Kristi Noem and Stephen Miller and members of the Department of Homeland Security. They're pushing for 3,000 immigrants to be found every day, which would compute to about 90,000 per month. Can you confirm that that's the objective stated goal today, Tom?
Sounds very expensive. Very expensive.
I always say the numbers are good, but I'm not satisfied. I haven't been satisfied all year long because what I just said, we got 600,000 criminals walking the streets of this country we need to get. So yeah, we increase the number of teams. We're going to have over 1,000 teams on the street. We're putting more targeting in this. We got to increase these arrests and removals. These are public safety threats, and we want to keep President Trump's promise to the American people that we're going to remove these public safety threats and national security threats as soon as we can, which means we got to amp up. We got to speed up the process of finding these people, arresting these people, and removing them. So yes, we are increasing the teams in the field tenfold. We're also going to increase worksite enforcement operations because in sanctuary cities, we can't get the bad guy in the jail, which means we got to put more resources in the neighborhoods. And we can't get him at their home, then we'll get him at the worksite. But it's game on. We're going to increase this operation tenfold here. Absolutely.
All right, guys. Tenfold. Tenfold sounds absolutely expensive. Like, just understand, like, it would be great if the individuals that specifically have come here and committed like a secondary offense or a tertiary offense would absolutely, say, you know what, hey, listen, maybe I should leave. I'll take that $1,000 and leave type of thing. I have no idea if they're going to be able to even get that, right? But it's much cheaper if self-deportation was actually a viable thing for the masses. It sounds good, but it's just not enough for them to, let's say, no longer be here and go back to wherever, like whatever country that they came from, guys, right? It's just not enough. They're not going to take that deal. They've probably been here for a really long time. They've got friends here now. They have family, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a thing. But having to spend the money specifically to 10x, let's say, the efforts currently, that's going to be a lot of money. Okay. And specifically, if we're looking to enter into some type of like I think he called it like a golden dome or something over the United States of America. That also sounds like a lot of money. Like we're basically doing a lot of things that cost a lot of money when we created Doge so we can stop spending the money. Or I don't know, guys. I'm not one of these theorists here, but I'm fair. I'm balanced. I would say here, but it seems like we're taking money away from programs that specifically the left pushed and wanted to then spend that money that we just saved with Doge. Guys, what's happening here? All right. Again, I'm very fiscally conservative. I don't want to spend any money. You should see how I run my house. Okay. I legitimately live exclusively beneath my means by far on purpose. Okay. I care about the future. I care about my family's future. If I don't need it, I don't need it. If that makes any sense. Like, do I have to have that thing? No. Right. But I get it. We do need to absolutely get rid of the individuals that are here that have committed a secondary and tertiary offense. That's fair. But 10xing things to make it so we can get 90,000 a month when he just said it's 600,000, so we'll be done what in half a year, guys. I mean, a little more than half a year, but that would be fair if you understand what I'm saying here. That would be absolutely fair. But if that was like an indefinite thing, it just sounds like a money hole, guys. I don't like money holes. I don't like it. I don't like money holes. But I definitely think we should get rid of the individuals that have come and hit and done second and tertiary offenses, guys. They need to go immediately. Like before, if you want to start working on the people who have broken into the country, basically trespassed on our land, and they're living here but have not committed a secondary offense, that's a different argument here, guys, right? So I still don't think that we should be paying for the individuals. I don't think that. I don't at all. That's not a thing. But when it comes down to you coming into the country, then committing crimes in the country, secondary crimes, it starts to look like a trend with you. You get what I mean here? Right? Like it starts to just look like that's just what you do. So if that's just what you do, we don't need you here, bro. Okay, we don't need you here on that instance. And again, I say this in many of the videos here. I'm not someone who's overtly political, guys. It's not my personality. I don't support anyone. I support specifically the things that have the ability to affect my family. So whoever can say the most things that can basically affect the family, let's say, I'll support, let's say, the party less, not so much the person, because the person is just a person. I like the idea, let's say, guys. Again, very fiscally conservative, but socially I'm kind of all over the place. I think that's just how things are. I've been around the planet a couple of times, guys. I wouldn't say that I'm the common typical American in this context here. But either way, listen, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.